What's your name?
You really want to know?
We're in training.
We're turning weird.
We introduce
Yes.
ourselves. Assume nothing.
That's
My name is Jiao.
right. Man.
There he
There he
is.
is. They're coming in one by one.
So I just love what Pastor Carl was sharing on letting go. Like just that word let. It's a faith decision we have to make. And God's working that in us through His Son. So I just want to start with some.
Power off.
Psalm 8, verse 4. And I just love that God's always thinking about us. If we really think about it, God is eternal, and He's chosen us from the beginning, well, before the foundation of the world, to really, He's been thinking about us for billions of years. And He's had us in His mind for way longer than we can have anyone in our minds. So I don't know if you know anyone who's been thinking about you for billions of years. And I just love this verse because it says a lot about God and what He's thinking about us. Psalm 8, verse 4. What is man that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man that thou visitest him? I just love that word mindful. He's full. His mind is full, but it's full of people. He's thinking about us, and I mean, He created us. Why wouldn't He be thinking about us? And I just think about what He's thinking about us. I was watching Pastor Chabelli preaching last night, and it was amazing seeing him preach and move the mic around. And he was pretty much talking about God and His mindfulness of us and His goodness, that and Romans 8:28, where all things work together for the good of those who love Him. The word good is a divine good. So even if it's not looking good, it is a divine good. It's working for His good, for His plan. So I also want to get your attention to Isaiah 26:3. God's always thinking about us. So how do we respond to all that love that He's showing toward us? He's initiating to us when He's thinking about us. And then we want to do something about it. We just don't want to ignore it. And then God shows us how we can respond to His love toward us in Isaiah 26:3. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on Thee, because he trusts in Thee. Okay. I read it again. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, comma, whose mind is stayed on Him, because he trusted in Thee. I just read this a few times. I was wondering, like, this is amazing. This is a finished work statement. Our minds are already stayed on Him. We're in Christ, and Christ's mind was always stayed on God.
That's good.
Good word.
That's good.
Because Jesus' mind was like a flint, like Dan said the other day. He was so focused on going to the cross for us that no one could distract Him from anything,
Yes.
not even the devil.
Yes.
And so, because we've been chosen and we've been born again, and now we have this mind of Christ that is in us. So God gave us the capacity to have His mind, but we gotta activate it. We gotta exercise that mind. That's why Paul says in Philippians 4:8, and also in Philippians 5:2, let this mind be
Wow.
of Christ be in you.
Right.
Like you have the mind to do it, but God gives you the free will to exercise it.
Wow.
That's good.
That's good.
So He says, He promises us He will keep you in perfect peace. And we trust Him. We're choosing to trust in Him, and trusting Him and His promises. And when we trust Him, He will keep us in perfect peace. And that's like being in His presence, like in the worship service. Just keeps us in that presence of His. And it's just incredible, like you can't describe what's in it, you just know that He's around you. I just love that He's thinking about us, and He gave us the mind to be able to think about Him.
Mhm.
So that was my thought, that God is very mindful of man.
Wow.
And that's
Mm.
really
Amen.
just great to think about.
Amen.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Dance up, by the way.
Good.